Hello and welcome along to Adobe After Effects with your host Robert Smith. In this video we're going to look at the different ways of outputting our compositions to Quicktime movies. Now this is a requirement for the mid-year exhibition at the Design Centre at Enmore, so it can be projected. The projecting software requires .mov files, so let's see how we can do that. So if I go to composition, first of all I've got a 30-second composition like this. It's ready to go, ready to be output. Instead of going to the Adobe Media Encoder queue, I can go to Add to Render Queue like this. And what I'm looking for in this output module down here, if I click on Lossless like this, it defaults to a Quicktime movie, which is a good start. So let's have a look over here under Format Options. Now the default is a codec called Animation. Now the word codec comes from compression, decompression. You don't really need to know that, but just a bit of trivia there. Okay, now this animation codec applies very little compression, in fact practically no compression, so it makes a monster file. Now in an ideal world that's fantastic, so we'll just leave that on animation and click OK like that. So we've got QuickTime, Format Options, Animation. Everything else will stay the same. Click on OK, and let's click here to output it somewhere. I'm going to call it My Movie and underscore animation like that, so I'll know what the codec is, and it'll give us a .mov file, which is what we want. So I'll click Save, and then don't forget to click Render over here like this. Now when I'm used to say 50, 60 meg files up to 100 for 30 seconds .mp4, but this file we're making now is a .mov with practically no compression, so it's going to be about 1 gigabyte. Okay, fantastic. I just might turn that sound down a little bit. Okay, let's do that same thing again. If I click on 3 movies like this, and that's the composition I'm working in. If I go to Composition, Add to Render Queue again, this time I click on Lossless, and I'll leave it on QuickTime Movie. My format option this time, I'm going to go to H.264, which is the same compression as an MP4 file. So what we're really getting is a QuickTime Movie, a .mov I should say, with MP4 compression. So if I click OK like that, and OK, so we've got QuickTime, H.264, OK that. Now I'll output this again to My Movie, but this time I'll call it My Movie H.264, like that. And it's a .mov file, so I'll save that. And then I'll render it like this. Now this will take a little bit longer because it's compressing the file, but we'll end up with a file about 100 megabytes, which is about 1/10 of the file of the animation codec. So it's probably a good idea if you're handing in for the exhibition to hand in 2 files, one with the animation codec and one with the .h.264, just in terms of managing the whole situation. Okay, here we go. Fantastic. Let's have a look at those 2 files we've just made. Here they are on the desktop. This one here, if I Apple I, how big is it? It's 1.2, actually that's not the one I've just, yes, 1.27 gig. That's a fairly large file. And the H.264 version of it, if I Apple I for that, it's 176 megabytes, as you can see. Now the quality is up to you to decide. In an ideal world we'd use the animation codec, but if you're having trouble managing a file that big, drop it down to a H.264, and we would like you to put both of those movies into the folders on the Mac Share by next Friday, because there's a little bit of work to be done to get the projection for the exhibition happening. Okay, so that's it. 2 things to do: make it a QuickTime movie with an animation codec, and a QuickTime movie .mov with a H.264 codec. All sounds very technical, doesn't it? But quite easy to do. Okay, thanks for watching.